Hello, my name's Naomi McLain, and today I'd like to speak about preparing for and competing in your first bagpipe competition. Registering with the Pipe Band Association and sending in the entry form for the games is only the first part in preparing for this event. Little or no preparation or planning leads to a bad first impression because you're not likely to do very well, and this may lead you never to compete again, which would be very sad. Preparing falls into three parts. There's the preparation that happens beforehand, which is preparing the music, maintaining the instrument, gathering the uniform. Then there's the preparation for the morning of, so that you can arrive on time and with everything you need. Then there's also the preparation so that you know what actually happens when you get there on the ground at the games. These are all things that I've learned in my 7+ years of piping experience, both in what I've done and what I've seen others do. So how do we prepare? Before an event, we must select the music we're going to play. Andrew Lent says that we should select music that is appropriate to our grade level, and I would suggest that you must also select music that is appropriate to your own personal playing level. You wouldn't want to play a tune that has an embellishment that you do poorly, and yet it's over and over and over again in the tune. This would set you up for failure, which you don't want to fail on your first competition. And then once you have this tune that you want to play, then you're going to want to play it and over until you're confident and you can play it with a level of polish so that when you present it to the judge, he'll tell you good tune. It's also important to maintain your pipes. You want the bag to be airtight and all the drones to be airtight so that you have an efficient instrument. You also need to check the channel reed and the drone reeds, so that your channel reed is neither too easy nor too hard, so it will balance from top to bottom. So your drone reeds will kick in cleanly every time you start the pipes. This will give you confidence in your playing. There's also the uniform requirements. The Eastern United States Pipe Band Association has a pamphlet called So You Want to Compete. And in that pamphlet they lay out what they require of a piper coming before a judge. If you lack any of these things that they require, you could be disqualified. And what I'm wearing is actually a good representation of an acceptable uniform. You have the hat, which can be a Glengarry or a Balmoral. You have a shirt, which can be a uniform shirt or a dress shirt with a tie. You have the kilt, and the sporran, and belt, the flashers, socks, and appropriate shoes. These are all required, and it's kind of fun to actually go and select your uniform. It's also important that you dress sharply so that the judge will not have the impression of you as a sloppy piper before you've even played a note. The next step is to develop a morning of competition plan. This plan helps you arrive at the games with everything you need and arrive on time. So first you need to know what must go with you, which could be such things as a ticket, the uniform, sunscreen, water, and most importantly, your bagpipes. It would be really bad to arrive without them, and I've actually done that. I had to borrow my sister's bagpipes. It was both embarrassing and very frightening. So make sure it's all together and you can take it with you. You have to know how long you'll have to travel to get to the games from wherever you're staying the night before, and what route you'll use to get there. It cuts down a lot on stress if you pre-plan your route. Along with this is knowing when you have to arrive. If you're playing at 9 and you have to tune for 30 minutes, and then you take about 30 minutes to get into the grounds, that's at 8 o'clock, and to leave yourself some leeway, if it was me, I would be arriving at 7:30. So now that you have this plan together, you need to know what will happen once you actually are on the grounds at the games. So what do you do when you get there? Well, first you find the association tent and you sign in. And then usually at the association tent they have this really handy little map which tells you which station you're supposed to go to compete at. Now the next important thing after signing in is to go find that station and talk to your steward. The steward is the person that's going to make sure that all the competitors arrive in order and on time for the judge. So you want to greet them, you want them to see you so they know what you look like. You might even want to tell them where you're planning on going to tune up, so that if there's any changes, like the competitions are running late, they can find you. Or if they're running early so that you won't be disqualified, they need to be able to find you. And then, once you finish that, you need to go tune. And the USPBA manual, So You Want to Compete, says that you need to be aware of your surroundings, because if you start to tune and you're too close to another competitor who's already started a competition, that would be unfair to them. It could possibly ruin their day. So you want to be aware of that. You want to tune in the sun if you're going to play in the sun. You want to tune in the shade if you're going to play in the shade. When it's your turn to play, you want to go up and talk to the judge. Now, the most important part of that conversation is remembering the name of your tune, which is very easy to forget under stress. So if you have to, write it on your arm. Nobody's going to care. As long as you have the name, you're good. So you've talked to the judge. He says, whenever you're ready and the moment has come, you must play. Barry Green in The Inner Game of Music suggests that in situations of stress like this, you might want to hum the tune in your head so that you're confident that you have the musicality and the tempo right. Now, you've gotten all done. You've played your tune. It was wonderful. You're sure you're number one. So now the most important thing to do is to go enjoy the rest of the day. Now, while these steps may seem to be confusing and complicated, doing these things will in general, result in a very satisfactory and successful day at the games. So in conclusion, competition is more enjoyable if you are prepared. The day goes smoother if you have a plan. And nerves last a few hours, but stories and trophies last forever. So always prepare thoroughly, plan your day, and enjoy the experience. Thank you.